Hey everybody, Devon Miller here, and welcome to another video in my YouTube series about my guitar rig. And today we're going to be looking at my Ernie Musicman Axis guitar. Now, a lot of you sharp-eyed viewers out there might be saying to yourself, hey, that's actually the Eddie Van Halen signature model. And you would be correct, sort of. This is actually the production model that Ernie continued after Eddie left that company and went over to Peavey to start his Wolfgang series of guitars. A couple of minor differences between this guitar and the Eddie Van Halen signature is, one, this pickup toggle switch on the Eddie model is over here on this horn. And the other change that was made is they added this body contour right here, whereas on the Eddie Van Halen model, it's just flat all the way across.
I give up. It's A sharp, or if it's a B flat. You get the wrong note, or all B flat.
Other than that, this is basically the Eddie Van Halen signature model. It has the traditional Ernie Ball headstock with 4 tuners on the top, 2 on the bottom. It's got the Floyd Rose locking nut. It's got a beautiful unfinished bird's eye maple neck, which is actually a computer copy of a favorite neck that Eddie played back in the 80s. They digitally scanned that neck into the computer, and then they produce all of these from that. So when you grab onto this guitar, it just instantly feels comfortable. It's got a basswood body with a quilted book-matched maple cap, which again gives the guitar a gorgeous look.
In his pursuit of the perfect sound, Eddie has designed his own limited edition guitar.
It's kind of a boring looking guitar, but at the same time, I didn't want some like VX crazy looking thing, you know. It's real balanced, it's real comfortable to play, and
you know, the quality of the guitar is great, you know, and hopefully 10 years down the road, it'll be like respected and looked at like a Les Paul is nowadays.
One of the surprising questions that I've gotten about this guitar over the years is that like a 3/4 scale guitar? And, you know, honestly, between here and here, it's 25.5 inches, just like any Fender guitar, same as my Star Wars guitar, same as my John Petrucci signature. I think where the confusion comes in, or where it may look smaller than a standard size guitar, is the headstock is shorter than a typical Fender style guitar, and there's also not as much wood back here behind the bridge as you would typically have on a Fender style guitar.
Short for a stormtrooper?
Huh? Oh, the uniform.
So this guitar has 2 humbuckers, just like any standard Gibson guitar. If I flip the switch all the way to the left, I get the neck humbucker, which is really good for like melodic blues type stuff. And as stated in previous videos, it's the sound for the beginning of Sweet Child of Mine. And in the past, I've also used it on the song Ramble On by Led Zeppelin for the little fills in between the verses.
No stairway. Denied.
If I flip the switch all the way to the right, I get the bridge humbucker, and again, as stated in previous videos, that's straight up rock and roll. And of course, I can also use it for country chicken picking style.
What kind of music do you usually have here? Oh, we got both kinds. We got country and western.
And if I flip the switch in the middle, it gives me both humbuckers together, which works really well on the song Tube Snake Boogie by ZZ Top. And it also works really nice on, say, a Def Leppard ballad.
This is special too. It's look, see, still got the old tagger on it. See, never even played it. See?
You just bought it?
Don't touch it. Don't touch it.
I wasn't going to touch it.
No, don't touch it.
I was just pointing at it.
Well, don't point even.
Don't even point?
No, it can't be played. Never. I mean,
Can I look at it?
No, you've seen enough of that one.
And, of course, I've got the volume knob, which allows me to do dynamics. So, say we're going to do LaGrange by ZZ Top. Roll the volume knob down and play that quiet intro. And then when the song kicks in, roll the volume knob up.
Rise and shine! What do you think they're so mad about, chick?
Well, I think they feel that drilling for oil is an evil thing.
Do you know how much diesel that clunker boat pumps out an hour?
This guitar does come with a licensed Floyd Rose tremolo system that Ernie Ball gets through a company called Goto. And quite honestly, it is the best tremolo I've ever come across. It's rock solid, built like a tank, very stable. Because this guitar is a continuation of the Eddie Van Halen model, the bridge does rest up against the body, so I cannot raise the pitch by pulling on the bar like I can on my Petrucci guitar. See, it doesn't go up. But I can still lower the pitch by pressing down. So I can still do all of the crazy Eddie Van Halen tricks. Just fine.
Who are you?
Silence, Earthling! My name is Darth Vader. I am an extraterrestrial from the planet Vulcan.
Now, for those of you who don't know how Floyd Rose tremolo differs from traditional style tremolo, on a traditional tremolo system, the string would go through the body, through a block that's underneath the bridge. It would come out through the saddle, and then you would take the string up here, wrap it around the tuning pegs, and tune it to pitch. Where there typically is a problem is as you move the tremolo bridge up and down, that string is moving the entire length of the guitar. And so it can move position inside the block, behind the bridge. It can get caught up in the nut as the string, moves back and forth in there. It can change position on the tuning pegs themselves because you're kind of loosening the string and then tightening it up again and loosening and tightening it up. And any one of those things can cause the string to go out of tune.
Now this one really upsets me. We have an out-of-tune player here. Before I continue, would that player care to identify himself? Reads 5, 6, and... Bones. 5, 6, and... He's here. Tell me it's not you, Elmer Fudd.
So what a Floyd Rose does differently is the strings don't go through the body of the guitar. You stick the end of the string right into the saddle, and then you turn this Allen screw, which pushes a block and pinches the string into place. So now it's locked right here at the bridge. Then you turn the guitar to pitch, and then you use these locking nuts to clamp down on the string at this end. So now between here and here, the string is clamped down, and there's nothing to for the string to get caught up on. I can turn these tuning pegs all I want to, and the pitch of the string should not change on the guitar. If I need to make small adjustments to the tuning, I use these thumb screws that are down here and can raise and lower the pitch of each string individually. And so what this allows me to do, this double locking system, is I can take the strings all the way down to spaghetti, to where they're literally hanging off the guitar. Bring it back up, and the guitar is still perfectly in tune.
Can you pass the maple syrup, please?
I didn't put... It's spaghetti.
You know what? I think I have something. Yes.
You like sugar, huh?
Is there sugar and syrup?
Yes.
Then yes! We elves try to stick to the 4 main food groups. Candy, candy canes, candy corns, and syrup.
A little trick that I've never seen anybody else do is I've sometimes pushed down on these individual Allen screws to raise the pitch of a particular string. And where I like to use that is like if I want to mimic a steel guitar harmonic lick. Or there's guitars with a B bender apparatus that's in it that would play something like this. So I can kind of mimic some of those type of riffs.
I'll tell you about this guitar. Now this has a B bender, which is a mechanism in the back of the guitar attached to the strap button, which raises the second string a whole tone. So when you pull down on the neck, pulls this lever and pulls on the string and raises it a whole tone. I'll just show you what it does. Yeah. It enables you to get all those steel guitar licks that you always wanted to get.
Another way that I use it is when I want to mimic a guitar lick by Jake E. Lee. Now, for those of you that don't know, Jake E. Lee was a guitar player for Ozzy Osbourne back in the mid-'80s. He wrote the guitar part to Bark at the Moon. He was in a band called Badlands for a short time. And I think his current band is called Red Dragon Cartel. But anyway, what Jake E. Lee would do is he would pluck 2 harmonics like that. And then because he played a guitar that did not have a locking nut, he would reach down here behind the nut and push down on one of those strings to raise its pitch, which would create a really cool harmonic effect like this. So what I do to kind of mimic that is I just push down on the Allen screw behind the bridge. And so that brings us to drawbacks and modifications. And quite honestly, I cannot think of a single drawback to this guitar. Some of the modifications that I've done, I have had to replace both of these volume pots. because the original ones just wore out over time.
All right, that's it. Right. Oh, turn it off! Turn it off!
And of course, I put eye bolts and used some carabiner clips instead of traditional strap locks like I've done with all of my guitars. And the only other modification that I've done to this guitar has been to install the piezo system. Now, when I got the John Petrucci signature model, it came with the piezo system already installed, and I really wanted another guitar that could do that same thing. And you know, at this point, I got to give another shout out to my old drummer Tony Benson from Standing Hampton, who helped me install this Graphtec Ghost acoustophonic piezo system in this guitar. Now, what it consists of is each one of these saddles has an insert in it, which has a crystal piezo pickup inside, and then it's surrounded by graphite, which helps reduce string breakage at the bridge, coincidentally.
Crocker went a courting, he did ride.
Now, all of those saddles go to a preamp circuit board, which is underneath this control cover. It's powered by this battery that's in this quick-release battery compartment that Tony helped me install as well, which makes changing batteries nice and easy. We added a second output to the guitar. So again, just like with the Petrucci, we've got electric on this one and acoustic on this one. These jacks are not switchable like they are on the Petrucci guitar, but that's just fine because this is how I run it live anyway, with two separate wirelesses.
Claridge high-tech semi-automatic 9mm pistol. M24 shotgun, pump action, 5-round magazine. The FN 2000 from Belgium. They do make something better than waffles. It's beautiful. We're looking at a Milcore 40mm grenade launcher. Tear gas, smoke, hippie control. This is an M134 762 minigun, 6 individual barrels, the torso taker, powder maker. Our boys in uniform call it Uncle Gazpacho or Puff the Magic Dragon. This is a kinetic kill sidewinder vehicle with a secondary cyclotrimethylene trinitramine RDX burst. I call it the ex-wife.
I think I'll take it.
Which one?
All of it.
All of it.
And this, we installed this 3-way mini toggle switch. So again, like the Petrucci, all the way down, I have electric. All the way up, I get acoustic. And if I put the switch in the middle, I get both electric and acoustic at the same time. So this allows me to do the same trick that I do with the Petrucci on Rosanna by Toto, having both electric and acoustic on at the same time. Just to help those notes ring out a little nicer. Also sounds really good on the ZZ Top song, Jesus Just Left Chicago. And, of course, this volume knob down here is the volume for the acoustic piezo pickups. And so if the acoustic is too loud, I can always roll that off. What I usually use it for is a little solo boost. So, you know, I can be playing a little rhythm section, so roll the volume off a couple of clicks. And then when it comes time for a solo, I put it wide open.
There is only one river, there is only one sea, and it flows through you, and it flows through me. There is only one people, we are one and the same, we are all one spirit, one name, we are the Father, we are one, we are one, we are one.
So a few songs that I really, really like playing this guitar on. Number one has got to be Wanted Dead or Alive by Bon Jovi, because, you know, I can have the switch up and do that acoustic intro. And then roll the volume knob for the acoustic off a little bit, do the rhythm section under the verses. And then when it comes time for the solo, I can flip this switch down and rock out.
Let's go!
Another song that I like playing this particular guitar on is Freebird by Leonard Skinner, for a couple of reasons. Number one, the strings on this guitar are high enough off the fretboard to where when I do that slide intro, the slide isn't banging against the frets. And then the other reason is because these pickups are hot enough, they really drive the amp pretty hard. And so when I get to that ending solo, the notes aren't dying off too quickly, and they sound really good on that as well.
All right, I got one. Now get ready for this, okay? It's a little out of left field, but be open-minded. Leonard Skinner.
No, not that guy.
Gym
He's
coach's
not,
name.
no.
Man. We don't even like that guy. Remember that time he chased the other coach around in his underwear in the gym? Yeah, that guy's just whacked out.
But you're... That's so good.
And finally, the most recent song that I really like playing this guitar on is Life's Been Good to Me So Far by Joe Walsh. Because it basically incorporates everything that this guitar does well. You know, I can do that intro and drive the amp really hard on the electric. Then when it gets to the slide section, I can play that as well. And then when I get to the acoustic section, flip that switch up, and I can play that also.
Do you feel that in collaboration with David, that you are afforded the opportunity to express yourself musically the way you would like to?
Well, I think I do, you know, in my solos.
Yeah.
My solos are my trademark.
So that pretty much does it for the Ernie Ball Musicman Access guitar. Please throw a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below, let me know what you're thinking about this video series. And we got one more guitar to look at before we start diving into some amp sounds. So until next time, I will see you in the next video.